Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your research, dive deep, and help you get smart, fast. Today, we're going underground, really digging into one of Africa's strangest and, well, most important animals, the aardvark. We've got some scientific sources, a documentary script. Our aim is to really unpack why this creature, the earth pig, is just so incredibly unique. It's more than an animal, it seems like an architect.
It absolutely is. And the key thing really is its history. It's a genuine biological outlier, the only living species left in its entire order, two-bulleted Tata. It's ancient, an evolutionary line that spent millions of years perfecting this one very specific lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's the definition of specialized adaptation.
And a definition of a biological puzzle, too. I mean, you look at it, parts seem borrowed. That long snout, okay, earth pig, I get it, aardvark from Africans. But then these huge, almost rabbit-like ears that swivel around on their own, it's a strange mix.
But every single one of those seemingly odd parts, they serve a purpose, a highly efficient one, for living life underground.
Okay, let's break down that physical toolkit then, because it all seems geared towards digging. They're powerfully built, right? Strong, arched back.
Absolutely. Like little tanks. And they're not small, easily reaching over a meter long, sometimes up to 80 kilos.
Yeah.
Combine that muscle with really thick, tough skin, not much hair, just coarse stuff,
Yeah.
and you've got something pretty formidable.
And that thick skin, that's basically armor against insect bites. Thousands of them every night.
Exactly. It's the first line of defense against the very things it hunts. Practical.
But the real stars are the claws, aren't they? The sources call them spade-like, shovel-like, like perfect digging tools.
Yeah, undisputed master of excavation sounds about right.
We're talking serious digging power here.
Oh, absolutely. Think hard-packed African earth, even termite mounds that are basically concrete. Those claws can tear through that stuff with surprising speed and power. Few animals come close.
So if a predator, maybe a lion or a big snake, corners one, is digging the only way out? Or can they fight?
Digging is always plan A. If it can get even partway underground, it's usually safe. It just vanishes. But yeah, if trapped above ground, they can be fierce. They'll roll onto their backs, use those massive claws on all four limbs, plus their weight and that strong tail. They can definitely deter predators, but they'd much rather dig.
Okay, which brings us to something I found really fascinating. The teeth. They're not normal teeth.
Not at all. And this goes back to the name of the order. Tubulid Tata. It means tube-toothed. Aardvark teeth have no enamel at all. They grow continuously their whole lives, and each tooth isn't solid. It's made of lots of tiny hexagonal tubes of dentine packed together with cementum.
Wait, tubes, like a bundle of tiny straws making up each tooth.
Precisely like that. This structure, these peg-like tubes, they're perfect for grinding up insects. Not for tearing, not for heavy chewing, just crushing thousands of exoskeleton. It's an amazing evolutionary path, completely different from most mammals. Really underlines how unique they are.
So we have this sort of armored digging machine with these bizarre tube teeth. How does it actually operate day to day, or rather night to night?
Well, it's strictly solitary and territorial. Sleeps all day in its burrow, then comes out at dusk. Its world is primarily smell, not sight. That long snout is just packed with olfactory receptors, guiding it across sometimes huge distances to find ants or termites.
And once the nose finds a colony, the claws get to work, break it open. And then comes the tongue, right? Which is
Well,
surprisingly delicate after all that brute force.
the real contrast, isn't it? After smashing the door down, the feeding tool is almost surgical. It's this long, sticky, almost worm-like tongue. Can flick out about 30 centimeters, a whole foot. Darts into the tunnels, slurping up insects by the thousand.
30 centimeters, a sticky insect mop, basically. And the numbers are just wild, potentially over 50,000 ants and termites in one night.
That's the estimate, yeah. An incredible amount of protein needed to fuel all that digging and just maintain that body mass.
And while its head is stuck right in the middle of this busted open nest, how does it avoid inhaling dust and angry insects?
Ah, clever adaptation there. It can actually seal its nostrils completely shut, keeps all the debris and, yes, the insects themselves out of its airways while it's busy feeding.
That leads to another really surprising fact from the sources. They don't really drink water, do they? How does that work?
No. Typically, they don't need to. They get all the moisture they need directly from their prey, the ants and termites. It tells you just how much water is locked up inside those insects. Especially important for an animal exerting so much energy, digging in often very dry places.
And it saves them from having to visit water holes, which are dangerous spots.
Exactly. Eliminates a major vulnerability.
It also seems like they're careful eaters, despite the huge numbers. The sources talk about selective foraging. They don't just wipe out entire colonies.
That's right. And this is critical for the ecosystem. They'll hit several nests in a night, feed for a bit, then move on. They leave the core of the colony intact. This allows the colonies to recover, ensuring there's food for the aardvark next time, and for all the other creatures that rely on those insects too. It's destructive, yes, but in a sustainable way.
Which brings us neatly to their biggest impact, the ecosystem engineer role. It seems what they leave behind is almost more important than what they eat.
Absolutely. All that digging isn't just for finding food. Their burrows are incredible structures. We're not talking simple holes. These are complex underground networks, sometimes stretching many meters, multiple entrances, different chambers, perfect for safety and for keeping cool or warm.
So they're basically building free homes for other animals.
Pretty much. When an aardvark abandons a burrow, which they do quite often, maybe moving on after a food source, those empty burrows become prime real estate, vital shelters, natural fortresses, you could say.
Which other animals move in?
Oh, a whole range of African wildlife. Warthogs love them for raising young. You'll find porcupines, hyenas, monitor lizards, even big pythons using them. Birds, too, sometimes. They do the heavy lifting, literally, and countless other species benefit. You can actually gauge the health of some habitats by counting the old Aardvark burrows.
And just the act of digging itself helps the environment.
Yes, constantly turning over the soil like that, aerates it, improves water drainage, mixes nutrients. It's like a silent, constant soil conditioning service for the savanna.
So before we get to their conservation status, a quick look at their life cycle. Solitary, we know that. They only get together to mate.
That's right. Reproduction is pretty straightforward. Gestation is around 7 months, usually just a single cub born deep inside a secure burrow. The cub starts off blind and hairless.
And how long does it stay with the mother, learning the ropes, I guess?
About 6 months. It's a vital time for learning how to find food using smell, how to dig effectively, and probably just as important, which colonies not to tackle. Then, around 2 years old, they reach maturity and head off on their own to start their solitary digging life.
Okay, so how are these unique architects doing overall?
Well, the good news is they're widespread across sub-Saharan Africa. Because of that wide range, the IUCN currently lists them as least concern, so not immediately endangered.
But there's usually a but, isn't there? Especially with animals that